Hello everyone, welcome to ShopCart Pro e-commerce application. You may remember this application from here as a ShopCart e-commerce applications because pretty much everything kind of be similar of that, but we gradually change a lot as you can see the features in the categories here and also in why shopping us as well as the brands and why choose us a segment. Almost all the segment pretty much crafted and we updated all the latest variable, latest version and others. If you just go through to check our packages, you're going to find everything we did up to latest. All the functions from the Next.js to Stripe, everything is up to date as you can see right here, and everything working perfectly fine. So my video concern is that this application you may find over here. If we go back to our application layer, you can find here, if you go in reactpt.com, it will be at the third one right here. If you click on that, you will land it right here. There is some kind of links here. So if you click on that, there will be a GitHub repository link where you can find all the parameter, all the things to start with. This is the free version where you can start by so far to make that and go by. And of course, there is another link which is going to be shopcartpro.org, which we are going to duplicate it very soon. So you may use this one, which is going to be ShopCart, not ShopCart, I think. That should be the live link. I'm gonna also put that in the description. So should be that one as shopcartpro.com. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that and here I'm gonna pass this one as it is. Okay, so this link you can just copy that or you can clone that where you're gonna get all the free versions which can be partially having all of this code right there, right? And there will be the other scenario of that. You can see if you click on that buy now, you will get the link where you can just grab that entire source code, the updated one, not the old one. And there will be a link also available by which you can get the all up, like all the new update which gonna be coming in future. All the update you will be available to get from that particular file. So this will be a very good handy for you because we are going to update time to time so far. And as you may remember, there is a going on a sale on that. You can use the coupon, it will be in the description. So there will be 20 to 25% discount on any projects you may want. So feel free to go there. And as recently we launched that Turbo Baby Mart for the latest build as well. So now our today's build concept is how you can configure, because you can clone it, right? Then you can also go through, like you can get to view the live and also you can watch the video because all the previous video I'm gonna hook up in the description. As you may find, there is around 13 hours video right here where you can learn from scratch how you can create that. I will put the link in the description so you can start with that from the scratch. But what about when you get that source code, right? You purchase the source code, how you can start, right? So this is the segment, this is the scenario. I'm going to show you how you can find that. And of course, for the other feature, like to grab all the scenario to making the payment, I'm going to show you a little bit of that. First of all, you can see we have a new feature called the language module. Now, if I choose Arabic, as you can see, my entire scenario choose to Arabic. Ignore this one because it's just coming from the local, but especially if we go in the live, this error is not there. It's just coming from the Next.js little bit, like for the for particularly for the React, some error is coming from there, but in live everything is perfectly fine. So now as you can see, we have that set up for our language. You can choose any language. If you want to choose Hindi, automatically it's gonna pass to Hindi. Not only this one, all the file setup and others, it's gonna be like this one. Some are there, some are may not there. You can just simply add that. I'm gonna show you how you can change your own language setup from the code in and how you can add that. So it will be a very fantastic build to show you so you can understand. And there is another thing is that if you click on that sign in button, you can see there is a model coming up, a simple pop-up where you can find that our Clerk mechanism. If you click on that particular link here, you can see now we can go through to make logged in. Now we are pretty good. We are making a very good progress here. We are now logged in. Now let's just try to make a simple checkout with one or two items just to see how it's going to work. if you go here, now you can view in the cart. Now of course the link, it will be in the description, so feel free to like do whatever you want with that. Everything gonna work perfectly fine. So there is all the cart available feature gonna work, as this already explained several times. I'll just make the proceed to checkout, which gonna redirect me to the checkout here. So from here, as I already choose the address, if I doesn't have an address, it's gonna be stop me in the cart. So now as I have the address, I'll click on that pay now button. I have two methods. One is the pay with Stripe, another is pay using the Clerk. So I will choose the pay with Clerk. And now any other customization, like if you want to have the code and you want to customize your own scenario, let me know in the comments, or whenever you are purchasing, I'll feel free to work with that. Now of course I'm going to go with a dummy checkout number 4242 and a valid date, and then 123 would be CBC. I'm going to provide my name here, and then boom. Now everything gonna processing by. After processing, like after the payment is done, it's gonna redirect me to our perfectly aligned that checkout is a success screen. So as you can see, everything gonna working perfectly fine. Yeah, we are now in success screen. Our payment is done. Webhook is running perfectly fine. Now we can click on track our orders, right? So if you click on that, you can see we can view our entire order segment. Now also I can generate my invoice. If I click, it gonna generate the invoice through the Stripe, so that I can go and watch, like view my like for the parameter where I can find the tune. So as you can see, it's generated. I can now download it and watch it. So if I just click on view here, you can see I can, it's up to you. If you want to download, click on that. Automatically it's gonna generate your invoice through Stripe. You can see your entire data segment is right there. So now from here, as you can see, we can see the address is confirmation is on progress and everything. Now this user also having the permission for the admin panel. If we click on that admin, I'll be able to watch the admin panel. From here, we can do anything. We can do any and everything. Now I have to view the orders just to see to some circulation over here. Now this is the orders which is coming by. If I want to perform it, as you can see, now I'm in debug, so I can view the raw data. It's just in debug mode, but in like in production mode, I will not be able to see that. Now if I want to, like, let's say I want to make the complete, okay, everything paid should be completed. Now as I am admin, there is particular order, particular segment which really need your employee permission and others, but as I'm admin, I can access anything, right? So what I can do here right now, let me just check. I'll go in the users. From here you can assign any user, right? I can make any user as an employee, provide a particular segment, a details view. So from there they can go and access, perform on the particular data as an employee, right? So now I will go as the similar account. So I'll go in my user dashboard, because we have two particular dashboard. There will be another employee dashboard also for the employee setup. Now if we go in my orders here, so let's see what is gonna be. See that it's completed, and if I view the action, I'd be able to see, because all the it was in progress but payment received delivered, it's gonna be taking a bit of time. There is a bit of opacity which we are pushing through, as is because it's gonna also talking to our production database. It's gonna be taking a little bit of time for that to update. And it could be partially because we skip all the other formula. It's gonna run the webhook to check all the status. It will just take a bit of time to update that, but it will be fine. Now of course, for the single page scenario, we have this entire setup where we can really go and entertain. And of course, we are happen to have our CMS, which is gonna be coming running here in our studio, which is gonna be directly embedding using that our for that Sanity CMS, content management services, which is a very beautiful and entertaining. As you can see here from the products, we can add our entire product data and others. And now whenever you're gonna purchasing that, you're gonna have a particular seed file which gonna having every single data from here. Now, of course, I'm going to show you how you can start. So as for the details and others, you can browse yourself for that. You can see everything is working perfectly fine. You can go through it, you can update through it, and any updates or any recommendation you're looking forward within the particular application, let me know in the comments. Of course, I'm gonna do the right choice to update, and every single time, as you know, there will be a link for the drive where we're gonna purchase, or we are gonna have it. Especially if you're a student, there will be a discount. Let me know in the comments, or you can reach me out personally. So whenever you're gonna having that code, there will be a link for the drive where all the major updates is gonna be published there. So you purchase is one time, it will be a lifetime update gonna be circulated to you, right? So now how you can start? First of all, as you can see, we are running it here in our local, right? I'm going to just close it. So I'm going to remove it, right? Now, after you get the code, there will be a file for you. So this would be coming something like that, main file.zip or a ShopCart Pro v2. So this either one, I think basically it's gonna be coming. So it depends on which platform you are purchasing, right? So now after you unzip that, you're gonna have this kind of file, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open it in my Visual Studio Code just to see what actually within that applications, right? So now first of all, whenever, because this one is my entire git setup and others is remote, it's a very clean setup. You have a very clean setup to go by and to start with, and there is a license key for you, so you can use it however you want. This is your license is provided that which you can just use it, and there is a seed file right there. So I'm going to go part by part a little bit like explaining to you, so in that way you can be very it will be very useful for you. So this is the shop card, and of course whenever you're gonna purchase the pro, this could also be available there. So like the download directory gonna contain this one, but the drive link which I'm gonna provide that to you, which will be particularly that versions.txt, right? This file. So in that link, if you go there, there will be all available version 1, 2, 3, or whatever upcoming, all it will be uploaded in that link. So it will be there for a lifetime, it will never change. So now I'm going to go and explore a bit, and as we are making that pro, so I'm going to just make that ShopCart Pro. I don't want to view that. It will be, this one will be perfectly fine. So now, as you can see, this is in live. So that's why I'm running so many ads and others, but this, it will not be there in your file, okay? So it will be a clean file. Now, over here at the top, at the very top, after you purchase, the first thing first, you go in, you open your terminal using the command G. As you can see, it's not accumulated with any of that repository. And first thing first, you need to make that pnpmi. And you can use the pnpm, npm, yarn, burn, whatever like a package manager is supported, you're gonna go through in all by, right? So first of all, let me go to open our action. So there is an action parameter to run everything, right? There would be the actions. Now you can run all the actions using the server. So we have the admin with actions, email user action, employee use actions. So all actions, it's gonna be entertaining from here, right? Then we happen to have our apps, and in the apps, as we set up our language, you can see there is a lang directory, and all are very much happen to focused on that new latest Next.js versioning, so you can use it perfectly without any error. So in that language, we have our layout, which gonna be our root layout. I'm gonna make a little bit bigger so you can see it properly. Okay, I think that's good. So all the root layer configuration is gonna just grooming from here, and then we have our not found, which gonna be entertaining whenever we're gonna have a not found route. This error, it will be disappear after install all the packages. Now we have three segments. One is the admin. All admin route is gonna be there. Admin users, admin access denied, all the admin setup, it could be here. All auth, sign in and sign up, it could be handled from here. It will handle from here. We have our client segment, all the client route pages, everything gonna be here. We have our employee segment. I told you, you can assign anyone as an employee, then it will be perfectly fine to work as an employee. We will assign one or two so that you can easily understand. I'm going to log in and view a different account, then we will do that too. Then we have our API. This is now the actions also kind of API, but without calling an external API, which can get your bandwidth, you can directly write that within that within that actions. This is very cool. So now in that API, we have our address API by which we are saving the address. We have our admin API. You can see under the admin API, all admin actions gonna be happen. Our analytics API, checkout API, where we have to check out. One is the Clerk, which happen to have the complete segment and others. We have our Stripe, we have our contact API, debug API, newsletter, orders, and then user. And user have a lot of actions right there, so we are handling in a very perfect way. Then we have our user data. We have our webhook to run our particular webhook to save our data in real time. Now, after the API segment, as you can see, we have our font setup, which we are using the 2 or 3 fonts, and the fonts configuration is happen to have in the layout here, so you can find it here. Whatever the fonts you feel better, you can choose from here and you can use it. Then after happen to have the font, we have our one of the most important one, which is called, okay, let me go here, which is called Studio. This is gonna be a pretty good and interesting build to go by. So Studio gonna be configured using that our Sanity. So that could be configured right here. I think still it's not installed yet. Okay, packages got installed, and before starting that, we also need to view some of the portion. Now, this is Studio gonna be handle everything for us, and then we have also our Fabi icon. You can change as per your application layer. We have our global to CSS, entire CSS foundation and formula right. If you want to change any colors, you just need to change it right here because there is a very less static colors uses, so you can directly go and entertain with that particular colors. We have our robust.ts sitemap because our entire application also pretty much very good in SEO friendly, so you can perfectly use that one. And then we have our components, there's a lot of things, lot of files, lot of things gonna work. It looks pretty simple, like a very simple application, but under the hood, it's working a lot of things. So you can see we have our admin component and we structure it in very good way so you can understand it very easily. We have our cart component, we have our checkout, we have common component, employee component, layout, all the layout gonna be perfectly here. We have whatever the new file we were entertaining to just to update by. We have profile, we have our shop page and the UI. UI segment, basically the UI components from Shatshian. We keep it in separate for this particular instances. We have our wishlist component, and then we have our common component in the root. So this all are the component structure. And then we have our configuration. You can see in the contact, we have particular contact segment. You can now decipher whatever the company name you want. So you can directly config from here. We keep it at server side, so there will be no error by so far. Then we have our constant folder where all the static data is serving right from here, from the, especially you can see here header menu, also the other menu also gonna coming by, especially those things which is not changing typically, we're keeping it outside from there. We have also one context. This is not the context as well. This is just an user context from the Clerk. We're using just it, not React context, but this context setup a pretty good naming convention through our context visualization. Then we have one of our amazing directory called dictionaries, where we have our internationalization. Now, if you want to know about more on that, you can simply go with that Next.js.org. You can search for internationalization and you can just click here. You will find all the best practices, all the latest practices. You can see this right now 16.1.6, and if you check our application right here, I think we are at the same 16.1.6 very much. I believe so. So yeah, that's the, we are in the latest. So we have our, you can feel free to read this entire documentation because this will give you a pretty much a very good idea about all the setup of the language using the internationalizations using the server or in the other setup in Next.js application. We follow that same thing whenever we are building that. Now, of course, whenever you are viewing that live, you get minor, especially for the ads time to time, feel free to ignore it. It's just to pass the little bit of revenue to generate its own server cost because, it's a lot of action, a lot of things gonna coming by. And of course, whenever you're going to deploying in Vercel, I will show you two type of deployment. One is through CLI, directly embedded, like how we deployed in that Vercel. Another using the GitHub Actions. So how you can combine that cost cutting measurement. I'm going to show you. Let me know in the comments, are you looking for that video or not? So we have our Arabic, we have our English, we have our French, Hindi, and Italian. So of course, there will be other languages could be added. Let me know in the comments what all our languages you want. I can add as much as many. I can make the list bigger. So no worries about that. Let me know in the comments. Then after the dictionaries, we have all our hooks. We have our hook set up for all the parameter. We have our images. Now, these images, you don't need to update any images because we're going to get directly from the seed file. But for your references, I keep that. Just for your references, you can pass that. All the product images you will find here just to take your references. We have our index file to just pass that. Then we have our leaf. for the lib directory, like for tiny function like Firebase connection, SU connections. A lot of things gonna be handled right here to go by. As you can see how we are combining everything. Now, why I'm saying that to all of you, so that you can have a thorough understanding what we have within our project. Of course, we're gonna run that. So you have our node modules right here, and pretty small node modules because we use the PNPM. If you use the NPM, feel free to scroll a lot from that. Then we have our public directory, where pretty much simple. We have nothing that much. We have our Sanity. Now this Sanity is configured. We have all our structure. We have all our queries because we make everything as a structural way. We have our Sanity helpers from where we are calling all the functions right here. So here you can find all of the functions we call in our application layer. We have our lib to just call the client and others. You can see this is the function handle, also the image and the live. So everything is coming from these instances for the Sanity. We have our types, employee type, reviews type, the extra particular type, which is beyond Sanity, because we have one type called I think it would be somewhere, Sanity CLI, Sanity type.ts. This is coming directly from Sanity because we have a command to populate that one, which is typegen. Of course, there should be some other type too. Then this is the most important file here, .env, because right now, if we use our terminal pnpm dev and we want to run that one within our localhost 3000, you're gonna get a simple error. Oh, okay, 404 not found. Okay, that is very cool. Why we get 404? Let us debug. And most of the time, the error you are looking for right now, which is right not found, is because as you can see .en in the forward slash, it will take that as a 404 not found because it cannot redirect that for that /en directory here. And it's because there is a lot of credential, because we are all of the parameter right here, as you can see, is in the root layer, right? So we need to provide those credentials to work. So what we are going to do, first thing first, we need to have that Sanity setup, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in my sanity.io. If you doesn't have an account, you just need a Google account to start with entire setup. If you have a Google account, you are okay to go with us. So first of all, as you see, I am logged in. I'm going to logged out just to go to use a simple account setup. So as you can see, if you doesn't have an account, you can go directly with get started. As I'm having it, I'm going to just simply logged in. And from there, I will use my Google account, which I used to make logged in. I will just choose this one to go by. And as you can see, I'm now logging in my account. And over here, either it's better to create an application, because first of all, everything is right here for us, right? We just need to follow the command. And how you can follow before going to further level, let me just explain you why we need to find those tune. As you can see, as I told you, we have that env, and in the env we need to feel free to go and manage those setup. Then we have our that I18, which is going to be the language configurations, license key for us, next config to configure all the available setup, and for our package and proxy, which is one of the most important file right now. As you can see, this is the one which is handling us not to go like without logged in, we cannot view those route. As you can see how we are protecting also in is admin route, all the local route we are protecting by so far. This is the function and file which is handling. Then also we have our Sanity CLI. As you can see in the root layer, of course, we need those command key. We have the Sanity config, Sanity types. Then we have our schema.json file. We have our seed target file. We have our store, one of the important one, all the store setup from a single file data layer, like to save the user or save the product in the cart, like so far. We have the versal.json file to upload in the in the versal. We have that version.tsx file, txt file, which you're gonna have to, you already know that what is for. Then right now you need to follow two files. One is that for the readme.md file. Here is everything right here. If you follow it perfectly, as you can see, all the key features is available right here. How you can, whatever the prerequisite you are requiring there, you can see how installation can be done. And this one need to be as a .env file. Then can, if you're using npm, you can go with the npm run dev. You see the language setup right here. So this the documentation you need to follow. Then another is called the setup.md file. If you preview that one, there is all the setup for you, from where you can grab this token, how you can start those. So entire segment is right there. If you follow this video alone, no need to view that. You know how we're gonna start. So first of all, in my dashboard, as I'm logged in, I have several accounts. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click here, like select a project. I'm Then click a new project. If you are new, you need to create an organization. No need to have any payment. For right now, whatever the things we are going to do, there would be not a single penny to pay, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that as a ShopCart, let's say Pro YT, okay? Then choose the same organization is right here, and I'm going to create my project. Now, after creating the project, you need to do something. You can search in the internet that Sanity, let's say Sanity CLI installation. Okay, CLI install. So if you go over here, then you need to know how you can install Sanity globally. As you can see, if you install Sanity like that way, now if you go and open the terminal, if I just close this one, if I say Sanity V, I should be able to see Sanity setup right here. Then I will just go and let's say close this one. Now, before going further, I need to make that as Sanity. Let's say Sanity login. Okay. So I will choose the first provider as the Google account, and whatever the account I create to by whatever account I use to create my application, I need to choose that. Now I have permission to go in the terminal and access that, right? So as you can see, the .env file, I need to have two setup. So you may feel free to install those. Now, one is that my project ID. So I'm going to go here next public Sanity project ID. I'm going to provide the project ID, and data set going to be as the production. And you can use that one, or you can use up to that version one. You can search in the Google, it will be right there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that pnpm dev, and over here, let me just run the localhost 3000 to start. And as you can see, still it will not be there, but gradually it's gonna be there. There is some more things which we need to provide. And as you can see, also we need to API read token. So this is the read token which you need to create, read token and API token. I'm gonna go here, and from there I need to also go and particular, like if you click on access, you can find, you feel free to go through the scenario how to start and go by. Then also I will go directly here in the API. Here, as you can see in the cross origin, I'm gonna use our origin here, which is gonna be localhost 3000 here. So whenever you're gonna deploy, we will also use our cross origin right here. I'm gonna show you how you can deal with that. So first thing first, we need to go to get our tokens here. So we're going to create two tokens. One, it will be the read token. So it will be simple viewer token here. That would be enough for the read token. Do not try to use the tokens or credentials what I'm showing here, because it will not be available. It will be removed or deprecated. So even you try, it will not work for you, or it's not a good practice to use by so far. Now there another, it will be a developer access. So I'm going to click that and save. So this token gonna be accessing my developer setup. And of course, without those tokens, you cannot perform the task properly. So right now, as you can see, as I did it here, okay, cool. We are right here. And now you can see right here, configure your application. So now there is another configuration is crying for me, which is Clerk. And of course, we will go Clerk. Before going to Clerk, we will try to get our data, right? Now, right now, if let me see if the error, you see, the error is gone. The error is gone. So here, from where you can stop it, if you don't want to show the pop-up, it's very simple. You just go in our layout, in our global layer, and from the layout, either you can remove it, or you can keep it, or you can modify it the way you want. You see the initial visual model, you can simply comment that, that's it, and that's gone. Okay. And also that premium model, also you can remove that floating button, that's it. You can remove the file, you can remove to use it, perfectly fine, you can do it. Now over here, you can see right here, we need to configure this one. But before configuring that, we need to populate the data, right? Because in our live, we have those data, but here we doesn't have. If you want to populate the data, there is two ways. One way that you can go in /studio, not en studio, /studio. And over here, it will load our particular segment of our, you can see right here. So first instances, you need to log in. So whatever the account, the similar conception, similar setup, you need to choose the same account to log in. And after logged in, of course, you will get the credential. And now you can see either you can like upload one by one. So if you have your own product, feel free to upload one by one on whatever the way you want to do it. But as I am having my entire segment, but as also I'm having the other layer, or I think better we also gonna get the Clerk. I think it will be good because I don't want to, I really don't like this error configuring errors right here. So how you can start with the Clerk? So I'm gonna sign out with all of my Clerk application here. Now same thing, if you have that your Google account, you can use the Clerk. So now sign in, and on the sign in method, I'm going to use my Google account and I will choose one of my account here. I think I'll go with, okay, I'll go with that. That's perfect. Same account for all the application there. And from these instances, I'm going to go in my personal workspace. And from there, as you can see, I can now create a workspace or other things. I can go and create application. As you can see, if you are first instances, there will be no application layer. So if you are already having, then you need to create on the create application. And from there, either you can go with the Google, I will go with the GitHub to segment I'm going to use. Then you need to provide the name, which gonna be, let's say, our ShopCart YouTube. Okay, that's it. Create application. And this is the simple way you can create application. It's already created. Now there is the fundamental which you can follow. How can you start? How can you do? But I will just go in the configurations. I'll go in the not the settings. I'll go in the configuration. I'll go also with our API keys. It's already there at the front, but I love to get it from here. I'm going to copy those keys and I'm going to go in my .env setup again. So Clerk publishable key, Clerk secret key, save it, and we are good to go. You can see here, you just reload, and if we just click here and if we try to log in, we should be able to make the setup done. You can see, okay, you're good to go. Very cool. And there is another route by so far, which gonna be a /auth. Let's say /auth /signup. Okay, why? I think this is gonna be something /auth. Oh, sign in, sign up /auth /sign in. I think sign dash in. Yes, that would be our route. Yeah, that's the sign in route, and as well as that's the sign up route, which can be perfectly fine to go by. And by the way, why my not found page is not working? I need to check. Sometimes something is not working, because if I go and let's say if I put that, yeah, sometimes it's not working. Why? But it should work. I get a good error. Of course, we're going to fix that. No worries about that. And in the live, I think it's already fixed. Let me know in the comments. If it's not fixed, we'll fix that for sure. So now what we need to do is that as we are happen to have that, I need to run the command to get our data instances, right? So how you can do that? First of all, you can go by simply in the setup layer here. You can just open the preview and there will be a command to run. So npx sanity at latest dataset import seed target.js file, and it will be rendering in the production. I'm going to take a new terminal, and you can just cut that production because already we are created our application. Enter the file. Okay, what? Okay, there is, it was not totally copied. There n is missing. That's why it cannot run the px only. I'm going to put the n, hit the command, and now it's gonna start populating. And make sure if you doesn't logged in using the CLI, it will not work. So let's just make why, because once we already like logged in using the CLI, right? So that's why it's working perfectly fine. So before, you need to make sure before running that command, running to importing the seed command, you need to log in with your own account in the command line. Only then it will work. So just give a little bit of a seconds or minute, because it's a very, very huge file over here. All the data, it's gonna be populated. So just give a little bit time. You can see right here, action is going on. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. You can see the fetching available data sets, and from there importing to that whatever the project we give over here. You can see this is the project which they are creating, and now importing assets. It's a big assets. There is the images, there is the I think there will be no users because you're not keeping the user data and others. So others subsidiary, all the data, it would be appear there. So now it's all our data importing, and if whenever you are happen to have any problem, how you can contact with me. there is the email, there will be my all social links. You can message me anytime, call me from anywhere, just to fix any kind of error. I will try to help you as much as possible. Okay, this is the CDN problem. No worries, I'm gonna just reload here. And sometimes if the reload cannot be work, because the Next.js is keeping a lot of caching thing, you just make empty cache and reload, and boom, we are good to go. So this is gonna be take a bit of time sometimes, but it will work perfectly fine. You can see right here. And now, okay, this the analytics configuration. I need to configure the Firebase. Right now I want to change the language. Okay, boom, we are good to go. No configuration, a new language, your configuration, everything is working perfectly fine. And now I'm gonna try to log in. I'm gonna using my Google to sign in. I'm gonna using my own account to sign in. Now you can see the first sign in through the account gonna be pick up a little bit timer, but next one would be perfect. Okay, what's the matter? What's the matter? I think I signed in, but you see the callback after sign in URL. Why? Let me try again. External account. Okay. The external account was not found because I need to make the sign up. Okay. That's the first instances. First time it would be a little bit of problem, but later on it will be perfectly fine. So what I recommend, you try to log in and work a bit, because it couldn't find those layer of data instances. That's it. So nothing fancy, you can work around. So sometimes it can make some toggling things. That's why we made the video. So wherever we are having the issues, you can really have the idea. Now overall, you can see we have the data layer, we have this structure, but this account, I want to make it as an admin. How we can do that? If you go in the products, you can see we have the product data populated here. And also because the admin setup, you cannot do the admin setup from here. If you go in the users, this data, even you add it or do a lot of other things, there is no way you can make the Clerk user as an admin. So what we did, we make that configuration here within our Sanity layer, because we can access those here. Okay, user is not set it here because user request, yeah, that would not be sent, because over here from our user layer, only the pro user which actually we can very much entertain. Like for the normal user, we are not saving in our Sanity, but if they apply for the premium services, like as for our customer, only then they would be able to access this one right here. So right now I think there will be a request for it. And of course, what I recommend, you go through by the subsidiary, which can be really helpful for you people, so that you can easily understand that. And well, that one is working on progress. So we can do another thing, is that we also need to configure our Firebase, right? The Firebase is actually helping us to get all our analytics data. So as you can see, entire analytics setup is coming from the Firebase. So feel free to go in our Firebase where you can get everything as by so far. So I'm gonna also change my account to go populate things in Firebase. You can just directly click to go on the console. And if you have a if you're a new user, there will be no application created. But as I am an old user, so I have some other applications. Now from here, I'm gonna make that, let's say, should be ShopCart Pro YT. And from there, okay, I don't want to join the developer programs, and okay, enable Gemini, then create, of course, continue. And I'm going to use my default account for the Firebase. Now is preparing our project, and we need to wait a bit. And then there is some more, the SSL e-commerce, which you can also entertain by so far. Now this one, you can just add it or make things according to your company. All the link you can put it, all the reward point thresholds and others, the Google client ID, client secret, Google refresh token to send the email. So this is, you can feel free to follow the entire setup guideline, which you can give you a fresh point to start. So now, first of all, we want to also check our Stripe secret key and Stripe Webhook key. For that, this one, you need to log into your Stripe account, and from there you need to create a new account. I'm going to create one, and this should be, let's say, ShopCart e-commerce app. No, ShopCart. Okay, ShopCart payment. That's good. So these applications, once we create, we will be unable to grab the things to complete to entertain our purposes. So there is two things is coming side by side. One is the, so while this one is creating the applications, we'll go in our Firebase, we'll continue on that. So as you can see right now, we are dragged to our application layer. And from there, I'm going to go in general here. As you can see, I'm going to set up for our web, and I need to provide the name for our applications. The similar name, similar configuration here, I'm going to provide that as, let's say, ShopCart YouTube. Okay, register the app, and after registering, we would be able to get our SDK set up. So what we actually need to grab from here, some of the keys which should be available here. The key is gonna be coming by as such of that Firebase API key. So that would be the API key. I'm gonna copy that, pass the API key. I also need that Firebase like auth at auth domain. So paste that one. We need to have that Firebase project ID, pass it here. Then we also need that storage bucket key. So that's the one, and the messaging sender one. Okay, and after that the app ID. So copy that and paste it. And the last one is that our, let's say it should be our measurement, like the measurement ID. That's it. So our configuration for our access data right here, which is gonna happen to here. As you can see, we are not happen to have any error right now. We are good to go because everything gonna perfectly fine. So right now, what we want also in our okay, we will just directly go in the console. So we can also make things done in a predefined way. There is one verification here. So now after that, we can now access any of the setup from here. So it's up to you how the way you want to make the setup done, whatever. If you want to use the Firebase store, the Firestore dataset, you can just go and store it. You know, this is very simple to use and very gorgeous to move on. So this is up to you. Whatever the things you want to use, you can pretty much use it from here. You can run it in test mode, you can run it in production mode. That's up to you how you want to start. Now, as we did everything perfectly fine, let me go over here, and still I'm gonna go sign out. Let me try another account. I'm gonna log in with another account right now. As you can see, I'm gonna go in my new account. So let us see whatever the segment is going to provide. So now, yeah, this one is directing somewhere. I think, let me try again. This external account was not found. Okay, if we go from, okay, this only happened to have when, okay, this only happened to have once I'm making the sign in. So first I need to make sign up, then I can go sign in. I believe so. That could be the hodgepodge. So now as I'm logged in my another account right now, so let me just check. I can go and like apply it for the other data ratio and others. So if I go in my profile here, I can see my profile data and others. Okay, that's good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add some product here, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Let me go here, and I think that right now, yeah, localhost 3000 in dev mode, I can add the address. So let me see, it would be my home address, and I'm gonna just put a dummy number here. It should be home, and I'm gonna street, let's say street should be 20. That's it. I can choose my country here. There is a bit of tiny segment here. You can feel free to modify that one, but in our next version, it would be modified. So it would be our Bangladesh. I can select the province. So I will select the Dhaka district here. So Dhaka district, also the city going to be Dhaka. And then I'm going to select the other setup, which is going to be like that, add address. No thanks. Now this one should be saved. As you can see, we have the address saved. We can go directly in our proceed to checkout to entertain all the checkout formalities. I can go with the pay now, pay with Stripe, as we have our Stripe setup. Now, of course, the payment will not be done. Why? Because there would be a reason, because we are not running any kind of setup to entertain, because our webhook is not running. So there is like we have okay. We didn't get the secret key yet. Okay. So let me go in our dashboard. Okay, that should be, I'm going to skip for that one now. Skip for now. We will go directly to our sandbox. We don't want any live account. We don't want to spend any penny here. We can simply entertain our like the sandbox here. You can see we are here in our ShopCart payment, and from here we can simply open the developers. I will just click on that, let's say API keys, and from the API keys I will choose that secret key. Again, never ever copy that. Let's say I'm gonna pass that here. That's it. So now that's we have the secret key, but also we need to take that Stripe API like the webhook. And where is our webhook lying? I'm going to go in our, let's say it should be our in the API, and over in API in the webhook, that's the route, right? So not the Stripe. So you need to copy till here, right? I think to run that, let me just grab. So we need to run a listener to do that. Let's go. I'm gonna make that Stripe listen. You can see right here 3000 API Stripe webhook. But before go through that, before going through run that Stripe webhook, you again need to check that. Let's say I'm gonna check that Stripe version. So the Stripe is already installed in my CLI. You also need to install that. Now here I can run that, right? So let's say Stripe listen, and I will just run that particularly. You can see it's checking, but problem is there. I need to make that not a Sanity but Stripe login. So in that way I can now log in through my particular account which I used to log in. So I'll go and check whatever account is actually gonna coming by. I think it can choose my account. So let us give it a moment to grab it. So as I have the two-way verification enabled, so what I need to do, I need to provide the code here 624612. That's it. Now from here, you need to check which account is there. So ShopCart payment, which we create right now. And also you can check here, which is ShopCart payment. So of course, I will say allow access. Now this will give us access to run our command locally. And the previous command which you used, we will just run that one. Now it's getting ready. Everything gonna be working perfectly fine. I will copy that. And here I'm gonna pass that webhook secret. Now you need to keep it open because when we're gonna publish, we also need to deploy that one. So what I'm gonna do in our ShopCart application, let me go here, and from here I'm gonna just open, let's say add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. I'm gonna go in the cart here. Okay, what's the error is coming here? Okay, this is just a simple bug scenario from the React, so ignore those things. Not particularly not having any problem. So now here, I'm going to go with the payment. I'm going to go with the pay Stripe. So now, as you can see, we are verifying of course, there will be the sending email confirmation, which we need to configure the email setup. Then it will confirm. Now over here, we can just simply go with that 4242, and then it would be pretty much everything the way we did before. And then let's just put our name. That's it. Not the bank. We'll choose the card. Okay, pay. So now after the payment is done, it should redirect. Now, as you can see right here, all the webhook is running, localhost and others, so everything is good to go. Now we can go with the track our orders, and as you can see, it's pending. I think our webhook was missing. Okay, API version. Okay, there is another simple problem is there. So let us go to our, let's say I'm going to go in our Stripe. So it should be Stripe. And here, okay, Clover, no need to provide as an any. So this is the Clover is any. So I think it's quite good. Okay, Stripe API version, your webhook signing secret is that. Charge succeeded, checkout session completed. Okay, payment succeeded. But why is can't read? Anything we're missing? I don't believe so, but let us check what's actually happened on behind. I think we unable to save something, or maybe we missed any configuration. Let us go in our live configuration here. It should work perfectly for sure. Sometimes from the local host, it's you can see next public admin email. Okay, we also need to provide the admin email. Remember, you can make admin like that way, but you need to have an email which can particularly have an admin configuration. I think the key is right here. And I'm going to provide that, let's say, at gmail.com, because it can be an array of that. So you can add multiple email here. So now if I make logout, so let me just sign out here, and I'm going to log out with my email again. So let's see if I use that email to log in. And I believe it would work. So continue. Okay. Yeah, see, now it's working because now the model is gonna be, now you can see the admin panel is right here. So now it can perform any kind of actions and I can see all of my user data here. So now I can make that user as an employee or whatever I want to make. I can make him as a picker, I can make him as an in charge, I can assign to the role, but for the admin can do anything. Now I can check any of the orders. Now, of course, there is some more other case scenario, like in the user, okay, still we are still, yeah, I think we received the user as an, okay, that's the inactive one. Yeah, so now for the active and inactive scenario, so right now if we go and I think it's already applied, so what we can make here, because we need to approve that. So let's see if he requested for that or not. Okay, premium, okay, this is coming from the production data, so lots of request is pending. So I'm gonna search, I think, yeah, this all are for the premium request. They try to go and access the premium, I think it's coming from the live. So if we approve any of that, automatically, like if I approve for this one to be a premium, automatically that application is gonna be a premium. So this will work in such a this way. So either way, you can also leave behind to that particularly so that it can automatically handle those segments. But my concern is that why my checkout was not active. Okay, localhost API. Okay, this one was the problem. Let me check. API Stripe Webhook. The Webhook actually not found. That was the problem. Okay. Localhost API Stripe Webhook. This is not the route. Are you sure? So if we go app localhost API Webhook. I think something wrong. Localhost API. Yeah, you can see the Stripe is not here automatically. So that was the problem. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run the command again and I'm gonna remove the Stripe. Okay, you see, so this video gonna give you a very good help to start with. So I recommend whoever gonna purchase, please watch this video. So I'm gonna copy that and then I'm gonna try that Webhook. So let me go here and let me pass that. Okay, so I'm gonna now want to make a payment. Okay, so this time I think it will do a very valid purposes for us. Let us just go past here and then I'm gonna, okay, this I'm gonna love to change my account because this will take a bit of time to go by. So I will choose my previous account which already happened to have the addresses. So right now, okay, continue, done. So now I'm gonna go in my card here. And from there, as is having the address, proceed to checkout, hit the payment, Stripe. So now it's manipulating the data to make the payment done. So right here, I'm going to go with my dummy card number and 1234, a valid date, 123 CBC, a proper name here. That's it. So now if we go particularly, I would believe, you see, our Stripe checkout is working. Stripe segment. Perfect. Wow, that's fantastic. If we go in the track orders, we should be able to see it's already paid. You can see we can just go in the view orders to see entire data layer and all other things. Okay, perfect. Payment received. If we entertain any kind of action here, it automatically gonna change. So this is how you can make those things by so far. So I think in these short instances, we got a very good idea how our application going to work, how mature it could be. And of course, there is another portal is that for the wish list and others, which you can by so far see it. So if you go in the wish list, you can see that's very cool. You can also add from the wish list. You can clear the wish list. You can do a lot of things from there. So now over here, so as you can see, we have one user, but we are seeing that inactive. How we can make an user as an inactive to active. You can configure the phone number from the user, date of birth, because right now if this user gonna visit his, let's say I want to visit my profile here, I want to update my profile, but the problem is that in that particular segment here we doesn't have a lot of information, right? We have only the name, email. If you can directly check it, those similar simple data we have here, but from our admin, we can update a lot of, we can create an edit profile. You can see I can update my name, last name, I can update my phone number, I can We can do a lot of other things the way we are looking for. An admin can do everything. Now from here, from the preferred currency, which currency user want to purchase, wish list gonna be saving here, card gonna be saving here, order history gonna be passing here, loyalty points, total amount spent, wallet balance, everything gonna be coming here. If you like, I want to give an access to the premium account, it can be go, and he can have an access for the premium features, especially if it's not in premium account, we're not saving his data in the storage. So that's how, just compiling on that. So also a membership, you can tier the membership standard, premium, business. So this up to you how you want to and when you activate is admin. If you like, I want to make him as an admin and also an employee. That's simple. You just need to toggle on. That's it. You will get all the things, right? So now if we just move on to with that user, I should be able to see something very interesting. This user gonna be having two setup of dashboard, employee dashboard, where you can see all the employee data, right? So let me just check employee. Employee, I think he can't access because the token is not changed, but logged in, logged out, it will perfectly work. And there could be a valid reason once this user perfectly gonna be kicked out, because if you go and visit here, especially in the employee, you can see in the page or in the page setup, if there is no employee, you redirect to the home, and then if the role is going to be call center, picker, warehouse, any kind of role he need to come. Now this user, we assign him as an employee, but we didn't assign any role. That's why he was kicked out. Now if we want to make him as a packer, now I give and assign him to a role. Now once we are giving the role to that particular user, that should be accessible, that employee route. So now if you go in the employee dashboard, still the role gonna be taking a bit of time to entertain, or I think gonna populate. It's gonna take a bit of time, or we can simply go sign out from here, and we can just go and sign in with our admin, because admin can, because as we manipulating, sometimes it can make some kind of glitch here. It could work, it could not work, but better once we are going to go directly within our admin panel CLI. So now if we just go in our user, we can see whatever users we have, you can see is activated, we have the admin. Now we can remove employee here. So this is how it can work. So now the role is packer, so I think it can go with that employee packing. So whatever the role, you can also assign him. Let's say I want to make him as an insurance, and of course the role is going to be changed. And admin, okay, admin user not found, so okay, this could be fine, because this admin is not in Sanity, so we can actually add him also. This is some kind of tune which you can do it from your side. This is just a simple configuration basis how you want to configure. And by the way, this entire application is fully responsive, which you can see it right here. Once you logged out and others, you can see how beautiful is aligned. So all the things gonna be perfectly done. And of course, if you go and choose to see any kind of pages here, what's the issue? Okay, this no issue. So now this you can also make, you can put a review here by so far to go and make things done pretty this way. And before making the review, you need to of course go and make that one logged in. Without logged in, you can't make the review. So now as you see, I'm logged in. If I go in my application layer, I can now call for my first review. Let's say this is the first one. Let's say it should be good product. That's it. Love to use this product. So that's just how you can toggle through. If you want to make I don't want to make any validation, that's fine. It can be up to you to just go by. And once it approved, it's gonna be popping up. And this user, I think this is not an admin. I think better if we can make him as an admin as well. So yeah, but multiple time it cannot be accessed as an admin, because it's not the problem is that this one is activated by whom, because the time is not there. Yeah, that was the problem. Even we activate, because whenever we're gonna manipulate from here, it's gonna be problematic, because this is not clearing the things, because we will know whoever activated our user and how, when they activated the user. So this data is not here. That's why this is just getting a very basic error. So that was the problem. It's better not to do in that way, better to go with the CLI or go with the terminal instances. So now if this is going to be approved, like right now, if you go in the product reviews here, that should be coming here. You can see the good product, and from there you can also make it approved. So here, if we just go and let's say I want to publish that. So it's just publish. Now for this one, it will take a bit of time. Like it's gonna be taking a no. Okay, it's coming pretty fast. Okay, now one user can make the review at once, not multiple times for a single product. You can also make it as the like is helpful or not. You can do that also. If you click, and automatically it's gonna remove the helpful setup also. Now there is the block setup, which is pretty cool, and you can see you can just modify the block from your side. If you click any of the block, automatically it's gonna redirect to our single block page. You can read here, you can go through, you can share the article. You can see this is pretty cool to work by. Now after that, and you can go at the bottom layer here, you can check in our contact. And in the contact, if you want to, like say, if you change the language for this application in Arabic, you can see this is particularly fine, it's working. So it would be a modable thing. So now you can add much more word from your side to go make it more legitimate, more better. And by the meantime, in future versions, I'm gonna drop all the updates here. You can find, you can read the details, and you can see the variables, and whatever the recommendation you are recording, let me know in the comments. And please to like the video, share it, and let me know what all are the features you're looking forward in that application. And by the way, feel free to support me if you're looking forward to, which is gonna be a very great help and good relief to me. And by the way, go there, just view it, try to do whatever the things you are looking forward to, and make it more appreciable. If you use it, I'm gonna love it to see from your side. And all the very best to have that. And of course, let me know in the comments in which way you want to you want me to deploy that application. There is two way. One is directly from the Vercel CLI, and another way through the GitHub Actions. So both way I'm gonna show you. Let me know which one is going to excite you. So let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go make that one as soon as possible. So just stay with me, and I'm gonna see you in next build.